Maya on the beat, Texas made.
We're live. We live. Okay, we live. Yo. What up? Hey, y'all. It's your girl, Carolina Teagan. This is episode 2 of League of Our Own. It is August 3rd, 2022, and I am at VODPOD Media Studios with my guy and radio husband and producer, Gylan Jackson, making sure everything is running smoother than olive oil on a baby's behind. How you doing today, Gylan?
What up?
What up? So you're the producer, but you're also / a co-host, or not yet? You're
not
just
the co-host.
You're not the co-host. You're not.
No, not the co-host.
You refuse to be the co-host.
I don't know. This is your show.
Yeah, it's League of Our Own, and it's you wanted to. That'd be funny. Okay. Anyways, let's just get started. I had a crazy weekend. Yesterday, I was at Noodle Tree, and I don't know if you ever heard of Noodle Tree. It is a Asian restaurant. It's a ramen restaurant, and it's here in San Antonio. It's pretty much Latin Asian fusion cuisine, and I was there with my friends, and we had such a great time. They treated my family out to a meal. They gave us a whole bunch of delicious ramen, and he was doing a tasting for his new restaurant called Night Market Texas, and that's going to be opening up sometime in January. We got to try all this amazing Latin fusion cuisine. And he's just such a nice guy, and the food was amazing. He used to work for Wolfgang Puck, and I really enjoyed going there. So I want to thank them for inviting me out, number one. And I Googled them, and then I saw that they were under attack during the pandemic, that they were an attack of they had somebody put racial slurs all over their building.
Oh,
and
wow.
he had did a couple of articles, and he was saying, like, nobody's going to tear my business down. I'm going to persevere over this type of stuff. And I didn't know that was his background until I Googled Noodle Tree, and just knowing that he had to face that type of adversity, and he's persevered, and now he's opening a second restaurant. That's amazing. So, I gave him a shout out. He's a boss. Shout out to him for overcoming that situation, and kudos to him. You need to come out with me to Noodle Tree, Gylan.
Well, I mean, you didn't invite me yesterday.
I invited my girlfriends.
Okay. Why can't guys hang out with the girls?
What do you mean, why can't guys hang out with the girls? What does that mean?
Did I stutter? Why can't guys come along?
Because,
especially if it's
like,
not
to
your
what?
Significant other.
Like to girls' night?
Yes.
Why guys aren't supposed to go to girls' night?
And who wrote that rule?
Girls. Guys have a
girls?
guys' night. You guys have poker night. You guys have nights. You guys don't have guys' nights?
I like poker night.
That's what I'm saying. Y'all have guys' nights.
She missed it. Poker night.
You know what I mean. Y'all go play cards together. Y'all go have a good time together. Why can't girls do the exact same thing?
It's
I feel
interesting.
like men get a little bit jealous.
It's interesting because last night we had a podcast here, Amzai, the Sam Pluto show. And one of the things that we talked about was, do men enjoy hanging out with women, or do they have better energy with their bros? Uh-huh. You give me any day of the week, and I want to hang out with my woman over my bros, anybody else.
Why is that?
Because the energy.
First of all, do you
like,
have
what am I going to talk about? Huh?
Do you have a woman?
Anyway, so no, I don't have a woman. But what a bunch of dudes gonna get around? It's a sausage fest. Getting around,
so?
Getting drunk, talking about how unhappy they are. I mean, come on.
Is that what men do?
Yeah, it's what women do.
That is not what we do. I mean, we did have a moment where we did get depressed and sad, but the most of the time we were talking about food and having a good time.
and it's probably after 3 drinks, y'all got depressed
No,
and
we
sad.
actually didn't drink. There was no
okay.
drinks there. We actually didn't drink alcohol. We were just too busy eating. I feel like guys' night versus girls' night, like my version of guys' night, I think in a lot of girls' heads, y'all go to strip clubs. You guys try to holler as many women as y'all can.
Single,
What
if
do
you're
you
single,
guys do?
that's what I'm saying. You sit around and like, hey, she's looking at you, dude. Nah, man, she's not looking. She's looking at you. Nah, bro, she looking at me. And then they're like, well, go talk to her. No, man, my girl will kill me. Hey, come on. It's a circle
that how
jerk.
it is?
It's not fun. Yes, it is.
Okay, well, there's got to be that one guy who can pull women. And does he do it?
Why would they? They're married.
Because sometimes married don't care.
Well, and then, okay. And
That's
then I get in trouble for hanging out with the food that don't care.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly.
So you got to watch out.
Yes.
So it's pointless to go out on guys' night.
So my friend Kirsten just chimed in, and she has her own podcast called More Than Magic, and she said the first thing she heard was Sausage Fest.
Yeah, well, it's true. Guys' night is a sausage fest. But girls' night, first of all, if I'm going to go to a tasting and I'm going to put it on social media and promote it, it's smarter for me to bring girls out than it is to bring guys out. Like, what do I look like bringing a group of men with me? I mean, no offense to the men. Men are great. Y'all are great to hang around. Y'all are great to talk to. I like to pick y'all's brains about what y'all think about women for real. But I get more free stuff when I go with my homegirls.
Oh, so then you can get me free stuff too if I'm your dude.
No, because it's not the same. It's not the same.
Okay.
It is not the same.
Okay.
I mean, sometimes it's the same, but for the most part, you have a better chance of getting free stuff when you go out with your homegirls, and that's just what it
So
is.
the only reason you go out is to get free stuff.
No. I like Noodle Tree. They invited me out. I didn't go out just to get free stuff. I wanted to show them love and support their business. But the reason why I go out is my friends make me have a good time. We all laugh together. We don't have drama. We just, catch up about our lives, and that's it. We go home.
Okay, so what's one thing that you all talked about?
Food. That's what we went to go do. We were talking about food the whole.
But what's one thing you all talked about at girls' night? Y'all just went to go eat and talked about the food?
I mean, we also talked about like some of us are going through depression. Some of us are, really trying to find their soulmates. Some of us are
so you
trying
got
to
single
practice
girlfriends.
sobriety. Huh?
You got single girlfriends.
Yeah, I do have single girlfriends. I'm not gonna tell you who they are because everybody's trying to holler at my friends right now. What am I, cock blocker? Because I'm not trying to hook nobody up.
I'm like, okay, so just real quick. Chris said, what's up? Chris Vesseler, Vela Senior.
Hey, what up, guys?
Dante Rose, Antonio. Listen to me.
Thank you guys
Anthony
for
Gonzalez.
listening. What are you going to say,
thank you for
Island?
tuning in. Huh?
What you got to say? Nothing.
Say what? Oh, Dante said, what's up? Oh, Dante said I was speaking facts.
What is the facts? That y'all are boring? Maybe it's just the group of guys that you go out with.
Maybe it's...
Because there's a lot of grimy dudes.
That's what I'm saying. Why do I want to go out with grimy dudes?
Because I heard they're fun.
Do you like grimy dudes?
No. But there was a point in time in my past life where I just attracted grimy dudes.
Well, speaking of grimy dudes.
Deshaun Watson.
Hey.
Yo, did you hear about that breaking news that happened with Deshaun Watson?
What breaking news?
Well, so the NFL or the judge, Sue Robinson, she said Deshaun Watson of the Cleveland Browns should be suspended for 6 games. And then the NFL had up until Thursday at 9:00 p.m. to appeal it. And they determined that they were not going to appeal it. And so, or they determined that they were going to appeal it. So they're going to try to seek a tougher penalty for Deshaun Watson violating the league's personal conduct policy in the wake of their disciplinary ruling. And in that statement, the league said it notified the NFLPA and they would appeal it. And then they filed this brief Wednesday afternoon. It went public. And they said Roger Goodell will determine who will hear the appeal. And under the collective bargaining agreement, Roger Goodell has an option to consider the appeal himself, or he can appoint a designee to do so. My thing is this. It's rare that the NFL appeals something, and this is something that they appealed. Do you think that they appealed something because of social media backlash? Because I think they did. What do you think?
The NFL has more female fans, women fans, than they've ever had before. Fact, what Deshaun Watson did was dirty. It was perverted. He should have been suspended longer than 6 games. Now, you have a federal judge that has listened to all these cases, not just in the NFL, and she uses her judgment. So you're going to tell me that people in the public, the Players Association, and Roger Goodell know better than the judge? I don't think so. I don't agree with the sentence, but because in public opinion it's not harsh enough, you can't go back, because this is the first time they're actually doing this with this judge, with this type. And so now all of a sudden you're going to be like, oh, no, we need 30 games. No. She came down with 6 games. I don't agree with it. I think it should be longer. But you cannot keep on going back and forth, because nobody's ever going to be happy with Deshaun Watson, period.
Well, here's the thing. This could be prolonged for much longer than we think. And the NFLPA could file a lawsuit against the NFL for this. And that's probably what they're going to end up doing. The NFL also, to me, I think they caved into a public pressure, because we already know how the NFL, when it comes to public relations and PR, they've really been trying to clean up their image ever since the Colin Kaepernick situation, ever since the Dan Snyder ownership sexual allegations came out. There's a lot of things that have come out for the NFL that have been bad publicity, especially during the Me Too movement. And you have NFL players tweeting out that they've, been suspended for over a year for carrying weed and marijuana. And yet the NFL decided that Deshaun Watson, somebody who is accused of 20 plus sexual allegation cases, is going to get 6 games. To me, people are saying, oh, that's not one of the same, because the judge, Sue Robinson, she's separate from the NFL. This wasn't the NFL's decision. This is her decision. And
exactly.
My response to that was, well, they have a decision to appeal. And if they appeal, then that means that they're trying to pursue that further for the whole year plus. And I'm glad that they did that, because it shows that they're taking this very, very seriously. And I do think that they caved into public pressure, number one. And it's time for women's voices to be heard. I mean, even with the Ray Rice situation, I didn't think the way that the NFL treated his situation was fair either. So for women, it's tough, because you're right. There are more NFL women fans. And I don't think there's increase of NFL female fans. I just think we're barely starting to be noticed. Our voices are barely starting to be heard. And the more women voices there are speaking on sports topics, doing sports podcasts, creating names for themselves in sports media, women like us, we have the right to speak up for these women and say, hey, look, this doesn't make any sense. There was a lot of allegations. I'm not saying every single woman was telling the truth and every single woman was a liar, but it's an alarming number and an alarming figure, and the NFL needs to look into it a little bit longer. And if he's suspended for more than 6 games and Deshaun Watson loses his wins his civil lawsuit, then he could sue the NFL too. I mean, that's just what it is. But I think the process needs to be prolonged, and that's where I'm at with that. I don't know. So that's just where I'm at with that. I feel like that's what needs to happen. If the process is prolonged, then, time will tell. It's a tough situation, because he wasn't charged for these crimes, but he also wasn't, he's also still going through the civil litigation as well.
Well, he didn't break a law.
That's what I'm saying.
2 grand juries. He did not break a law.
That's what I'm saying. He didn't break a law, and that's why this is a tough situation, because it's also like the courts found that he did nothing wrong. They're not moving forward with it. So I see in people who are pro Deshaun Watson, they're like, hey, look, he wasn't charged for anything criminally. Why are we suspending him for something he wasn't charged criminally for? And I think it's because of the civil litigation. That's why people are putting pressure on the NFL to suspend him for longer than 6 games. Do you agree with that sentiment? You think it's like public pressure in regards to
I think it's
civil
public
litigation?
pressure, and I think it's deserved. And I think the NFL needs to suspend him longer than 6 games. However, I don't think you have a judge where the NFL set this up where you go back and then overrule the judge. I just don't think that you don't do that. You do not do that.
You think that they should just stood firm with the 6 games?
Still stand firm with the 6 games.
I think that would have really. I think that would have set the tone for the hypocrisy of the NFL, though. Don't you think?
Well, there's already it's already a Hippocratic league. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the NFL
All day long.
NFL's hypocrites. Period. That's what I think too. So
Yeah, it's just a hypocritical league.
And then they just prove it more and more with every single case by case. There's people that get suspended for weed for over a year, and then you have Deshaun Watson and it's 6 games, and then there's people who don't want it to be appealed.
Oh, hey, listen, we're not going to figure it out. In quick news, though, Brian Flores.
Oh yeah.
So everything he said about the Miami Dolphins was proven correct. Remember, he was just an angry black man trying to get back. No, every single thing that I don't know if it's every single thing, but most of the things he said is perfectly correct. And I think we need to start looking in the mirror and wondering, why do we continue following the NFL? I mean, really, it's one of those things. They treat women like dirt. They blackballed a man who simply was saying, hey, I disagree with what's going on in this country. Brian Flores, I mean, we could go time after time after time after time. What are we saying about ourselves as continue being fans of the NFL?
Well, and that's the thing. I think it's going to be that's a ideal situation for people who are women to all, as a collective, stop watching the NFL if they disagree with how they're treating Deshaun Watson, or people who disagree how Brian Flores was treated to just get rid of the NFL. But in the NFL, out of all the top 100 broadcasts in America, 75 of those games were NFL games. Mm-hmm. So that means 75 out of the 100 top broadcasts all across America, NFL is clearly king in the United States. And that's why there's Amazon, Fox, ABC, CBS, all these TV stations and media companies are trying to bid for their deal with the NFL, because NFL is king, whether we like it or not, whether these situations happen that are political. At the end of the day, we're not just me and you feel the way we feel. Everybody in America has an opinion, and just by the ratings, it shows that people don't care about all these things. When the bottom line is considered, people are still going to tune in. Everybody
is entitled to their own opinion, but not to their own facts. Uh-huh. And I'm just going to be really real. I don't know what kind of service we do to our country, we do to women, when we continue supporting a league, and especially a league where men are getting CT, women are getting raped. What are we doing?
So do you think the NFL appealing this situation is them turning over a new leaf? I mean, because they're listening to the women.
No.
Well, I mean, for the actions, they're proving that they do want a longer suspension, and they're listening to the women who are upset regarding these allegations. Do you think this is all just smoke and mirrors?
Never. Did you ever hear about what Ben Roethlisberger did? He was dirty. He was grabbing women in bathrooms, drugging them, and the NFL did nothing about it. Mm-hmm. Where does it start? So we're going to start now with Deshaun Watson?
I hope so. Oh, well, yeah, I see what you're saying. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, wrap it up.
Digital lynchings. Let's keep on doing it. So what else you got?
I don't know. You tell me.
I don't know.
Oh, you know
it's
what?
It's one of those days.
I was going to say UFC 277. What are your thoughts on that? Amanda Nunes
I want them to
versus
run it
Juliana
back.
Pena?
I want them to run it back.
Mm-hmm.
You saw the fight, right?
Yeah, my thing about this, I saw a lot of the pre-interviews, and I feel like, they both have what it takes to run it back for a third rematch, and I feel like this trilogy is probably going to be one of the most watched trilogies in the UFC, to be honest with you, because these are two women, and this is the thing that I love about the UFC is they're not afraid to put women up top as a main event. Women I feel like they're put more on a pedestal when it comes to the UFC. Like, these are huge fights. You see Pena versus Nunez, and you have Ronda Rousey, who dominated at some point, and the UFC isn't afraid to pull up women and bring them at the top, of a main card. And I love boxing. Boxing is my first love, but what I love more about the UFC is that they promote the hell out of these fights. They do a lot of marketing for these fights to hype up the scenarios, the situations between the two women, the rivalries. And I really wish that boxing would put more money on women, because women's boxing isn't lifted on a pedestal the way that UFC is. And I'm not trying to compare MMA versus UFC versus or mixed martial arts, UFC versus boxing. They're not one of the same. These are two totally different types of mixed martial arts. But if you look at mixed martial arts in a totality, and you see how women are uplifted in the UFC and being put on a pedestal and being given and being paid out a lot more than women in boxing, I mean, this is what makes me like the UFC. And honestly, it makes me a fan of the UFC, knowing that they're hyping up a trilogy fight. I hope they fight again, and I hope they get the biggest paychecks of their lifetime, because that's what they deserve. I mean, they put their heart and soul into fighting for this sport, and they have, according to them, based on the interviews I've seen, they put a lot of dedication into their craft, and they both did Ultimate Fighter together, and they both ran into each other several times leading up to the fight. Pena said that she was confident that she was going to win, but that didn't happen. Amanda Nunes did her thing. She said that she was going to surprise her, and that's what happened.
Well, one thing that I noticed is Nunes didn't take her out. Like, she never finished the fight. Now, I'm not saying she couldn't have finished the fight, but Ray Perez was saying, like, the trilogy, there's no need for a trilogy. This is a one-sided fight, not even close. But Nunes didn't finish her, period. Pena was still there to the end of the fight. They were both extremely messed up. So what do? I think you got to run it back. I think you run it back 3-3. Yeah,
if you could do Canelo Triple G trilogy,
for real.
If you could do, and that's a great trilogy too, by the way. If you could do Joshua Franco, Andrew Maloney. I mean, Joshua Franco won the first fight. He won the second fight. It was controversial. And he won the third fight. He won 3 fights in a row. And that fight got a trilogy. You looking at this UFC fight, you got Pena versus Nunes. Nunes won. Pena won. I mean, that's 1-1 right there. I feel like because of the big ratings and the big numbers and the how they promote this rivalry, it would be amazing to have a third fight. Whoever wins this third fight, that is a true winner once and for all.
Pena never moved back. She kept on coming forward. First fight, second fight. Yes, Nunes got the better of her, but she kept on coming, and she kept on coming, and she kept on coming. So to me, that deserves a number 3.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And also, too, the MLB trade deadline was this weekend, too. Or this weekend. It was yesterday. Like this weekend. And there was a lot of things that happened. There was a major trade. Obviously, the one everyone's talking about is the Juan Soto trade. I mean, he got sent to the Padres, and he's going to be... and this gives them the Padres playoff hopes. And he's going to be joining Fernando Tatis Jr., and I feel like the Padres are going to be a super threat, especially, this is probably one of the most blockbuster trades in MLB history. There hasn't been a player younger. He's 23 years old. He's an all-star at the moment. He gets traded in the middle of the season, and this is one of those once in a decade, once in a lifetime trades. And this is huge for the Padres to trade out, to be able to trade out for him.
Get Soto.
Fernando Tatis Jr., he used to play for the Missions, and now he plays for the Padres. He's a shortstop, and he had an injury. He's been on minor league rehab assignment. He missed the entire season so far because of a wrist fracture. But there's been reports that once he returns, he's actually going to be rehabilitating in San Antonio. So he might be in San Antonio where the Missions play, rehabilitating. So I was telling myself, too, if you're from San Antonio like I am, if you guys want to see Fernando Tatis Jr. during his rehabilitation, definitely go to the Missions, because, I mean, Missions are local and he's right up the street. This is one of the biggest players in the Major League Baseball. He played for the Missions. Now he's, up with the Padres, has a wrist fracture, and he's rehabilitating in San Antonio. Why not take yourself to the Missions? I'm going to take my damn self to the Missions. I'm going to try to get an autograph for Fernando Tatis Jr.
Throwing to the Missions, you threw out the first pitch at the Missions.
I sure did throw out the first pitch.
Yes.
They need to run that back, too.
They need to run that back. That was one of the best pitches ever.
Yeah, it was right down the middle, and I used to play baseball. Nobody knows that, though.
Did you used to play baseball?
Yeah, I used to
because
play
when I saw you playing soccer that one time,
that was trash.
It didn't look like you could play tiddlywinks.
Hell no. No, but I played baseball, and I was on the boys' team. My dad put me on the boys' team, and I was left field, so I wasn't.
Yo, your boy Cam's outside regulating because they're getting too loud. He's like, shh.
Yeah. No, I feel like you should definitely go see Fernando Tatis Jr. if he's in San Antonio. So he might either be there or he might rehabilitate in a different city. So I'm just gonna keep my eye out on that, and you'll definitely catch me at the Mission Stadium trying to get an autograph, because when he goes back to the Padres once he's rehabilitated, I think this is probably a team that could take it to the top, and I want to make sure I have an autograph for Fernando Tatis.
Well, you will have an autograph. You'll get one. Carolina T gets what Carolina wants.
I don't think so. Not all the time.
You do.
I mean, no, I actually don't. I actually don't.
From time to time.
Yeah, from time to time I do. Hey,
Right.
So what else do we got here?
Actually, we got technical difficulties on this or that.
Oh, what happened?
Long story. Just one of those things today.
Oh, it was just one of those days.
It was one of those days.
We are getting the podcast off the ground, so we're going to have technical difficulties every now and then.
No,
it's gonna
this is
happen.
the last. This is it. This is the last one.
Oh.
We got everything figured out.
Okay, well.
But, I mean, I want to know what people think about the sound. Thanks everybody for tuning in and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but.
Well, next week we're going to have this or that. We're going to be back. We had technical difficulties today, but we did cover the topics we wanted to cover. Is there anything else we should talk about? I really didn't think of anything else.
So maybe the crowd will let us know.
Yeah, but anyways, I feel like that's it. We good. We don't have this or that. We straight. Why don't we just talk this or that? We don't need the graphics. Fool. Okay. All right, so let's do this or that. All right.
Okay, so
Beyonce album or the Drake album?
Oh, Beyonce all day long.
I thought you said you like the Drake album.
No. I said that people need to give Drake a break because Beyonce came out with a dance album. Drake came out with a drag album. So why are they dragging Beyonce?
Because
I'm saying, why are they dragging Drake more than they're dragging Beyonce?
Because Drake's album wasn't that great.
I mean, that's subject. I don't know.
No, I think his album wasn't that great. Let me tell you why. Because it sounds like the mixing and mastering was just slapped together. And he co-wrote one of Beyonce's songs on her new album. So what I'm thinking, and a lot of people are thinking, is that he knew that Beyonce was recording a dance album. So he tried to get ahead of the curve and record a dance album his damn self, but he didn't mix and master it properly. I didn't like the vocals. I didn't like the lyrics. There were some songs I did like. But for
Drake
the most part,
can't sing.
Beyonce knocked it out the park. Her mixing, her mastering, her vocals, she killed it in addition to having a dance album. So if I had to give the edge to Beyonce or Drake, I'm giving it to Beyonce.
All day long. And Drake can't sing.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Everybody act like Drake can sing. He cannot sing. Drake is your cousin in the bathroom or your man trying to get some singing. Drake is not a singer.
I never thought of it that way.
He's not.
Well, then why does he sing? If he's not a singer, why does he sing?
Because he's cute and he's light skinned and y'all let that brother get away with everything.
No, that is not true.
It is true.
No, he is cold-blooded. On the mic, ain't got nothing to do with him being
whatever.
light-skinned.
You ever heard Jay-Z trying to sing?
Huh? Because he can't sing for real.
It don't make no Drake can barely
can't
sing.
All he needs is a little auto-tune. He's fine.
Drake is not in the top 100 singers of all time.
No, he's not, but he's melodic. He's melodic.
Dante says that Dante Rose in the chat says that Drake can sing a little bit depending on the songs. Passing fruit, he gets busy.
I think he needs auto-tune. But he still is melodic and catchy. And I think that's important. I mean, you don't necessarily have to be the best singer, but if you're catchy, then you can have a hit. That's what I think. All right, what's the next this or that?
Next this or that. Would you rather be iPhone or a Android?
I would be the iPhone. Who would pick Android? Nobody would.
Because Android's always ahead of the game. Always.
What do you mean?
Android is always ahead of the game.
I haven't had an Android in years.
iPhone just names stuff different, and then all of a sudden it's cool. iPhone says, we're going to give you the triple pixel 3000 4 daddy, and people are like, oh my God, iPhone.
I like the iPhone. I like the iPhone better. They got the blue bubble. I feel cooler when the blue bubble pops up. We're both wearing blue today. We got blue lighting.
The blue bubble.
Yeah, it's cute. I like their camera. I like the way their iPhone Max works. And then every time somebody with an Android texts me in this green bubble, I'm like, ugh, why is this coming in like this? I don't like that.
Why you a hater?
I'm not a hater. I just notice it right away. I'm like, oh, you got an Android.
Let's see. Porsche or BMW?
What? I don't like cars.
You don't like cars?
No.
Okay.
I'd rather if I had to pick a car right now, I'd pick probably like a Mercedes Benz or a Cadillac. No, not a Cadillac, a Mercedes Benz. If I had to pick between a Porsche or BMW, I'm gonna pick a Porsche because people who are car heads that I talk to, they always say BMWs are trash. Their engines are trash. So I'd go with a Porsche, I guess. What would you go with?
See, like Kirsten said, just real quick, I'd go with the Porsche Panamera 4-door with the sunroof.
Okay, see, she's smarter than me. I don't know about that.
No, that's why I would go with. Kirsten Thompson says Drake's album is what you listen to when you're taking down 3-month-old box braids. I'll take her word for it. I'm bald. And then iPhone, copy, paste, Android's technology. Truth. Truth.
Okay.
Truth.
All right. Well, that's
Truth.
our this. Do we have any more this or that, or we're good?
No, that's good.
That's good. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. Thanks for bearing with us for the podcast with our technical difficulties. We love you guys so much. What you got to say? Anything, Island?
That's it.
We gonna see.
I got to get used to being a host.
You're not a host.
Oh, I'm not the host?
You're not a host.
Oh, then make your mind up. Co-host.
No, you're a producer.
I talk a whole hell of a lot for a producer.
You've been doing a great job producing and talking.
Yo, listen, I think we're doing something pretty special here.
I do too.
I think it looks good, and it's going to actually look better as time goes on. But we're good. We're good.
I agree too. And then also, we're gonna be back at the same time, same place. I'm excited for what's to come. We have some stuff coming up.
Yes,
we
we do.
Guests coming in.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. So.
All right, Miss Carolina.
All right, you guys. Tune in next week. League of Our Own. I'll see you guys out. Bye.